hey, you who operate in water treatment, who work in water treatment, and water treatment is your business, water purifiers are your business. Watch out, because if you think that numerical data convinces your customers, you're using the wrong lever, because the sale starts when you touch the right emotional motivation. So we must speak to emotions, especially if you work in a sector like water purifiers, which is a very technical sector. And so you too are used to thinking rationally in terms of specifications, technical sheets, regulations, certifications, liters per hour. And the biggest risk for those who are, let's say, competent is thinking that the customer, the end customer in this case, reasons in the same way. In reality, it doesn't work like that, okay? The risk is that you think the customer chooses based on numbers or technical sheets or technical characteristics, but in reality, the customer never buys based on this data, based on this information, okay? People, always remember, always act for emotional reasons and then justify it later with logic. But first, it's the emotion that triggers the desire for a water dispenser. This means that nobody buys a water system because it does 20 liters per hour or because the pump has 2 bars and things like that, okay? Buying is an emotional decision, and only afterwards the customer looks for a logical excuse to actually confirm to themselves and others that the purchase was a, let's say, a positive attitude, okay? That the purchase was successful. Now you can say, okay, but our system has the certification, it has Italian components, assistance is guaranteed, assistance is within 2 hours, performance is certified. Obviously all this makes sense. I'm not telling you not to say it anymore, because you have to communicate it, because it's what differentiates you, it's what you do, okay? But if you don't activate an emotional motive first, the customer looks at you, pretends to understand, and then tells you, I'll think about it, tells you I have to talk to someone else, etc., etc. So what does it mean to touch the emotional lever in the water purifier sector? It means many things, depending on your audience, depending on who your customers are, okay? It means that the restaurateur is tired of ordering and storing bottles. It means that the gym owner is afraid that their dispensers will be checked to see if there are PFAS in the water. It means the bartender who wants more space behind the counter instead of managing cases of water. It means the family, okay, who wants to free themselves from the time, from the effort of buying cases of water. So going shopping and buying cases of water, okay? As you can see, they are all fears, desires, frustrations, ambition. I'm not talking about data. They are all things that derive from emotions. So if you start conversations talking about liters per hour or filtration degrees, microns, you lose the attention of your potential customers. If you start with a question or an emotional statement instead, then you'll have a better chance of keeping their attention. For example, a restaurant will obviously respond to the question, hey dear restaurateur, do you know that today there are restaurateurs who lose over 1,200 euros a month just in water management, just because no one has ever shown them an alternative? Okay, see how the hook with which I made this extremely banal and simple example. Now, we're not doing examples here, okay, but I want you to understand the example was focused on losing money, okay? Afterwards come the technicalities of water dispensers and so on and so forth, okay? Remember that whoever knows how to activate an emotional lever in the customer then commands the sale, commands the negotiation. And when I say emotional lever, I don't mean manipulating, I mean touching on a real problem, okay? Making the customer feel that you know them, that you've already solved their same problem, but for others, so that in a sense you're on their side. In this video I can't do much because I don't have time, but I can recommend a simple structure that you can use in every negotiation or in every communication, okay? First, start with a question that brings out an annoyance or a problem of your customer, like, how do you manage the water in your place today? Or have you ever had problems with, let's say, the taste or the flavor of the tap water? Okay. Or have you ever calculated how much it costs you not to have a water dispensing system? Then, as a second pillar, really listen to the customer's response and try to understand what the problem they're telling you is related to that response. And show that you've understood, okay? That you're not just selling randomly, but that you've really understood their problem. Point number 3, connect that problem to your solution, but in terms of personal benefit. So don't say that with this water system you fill 100 bottles a minute, okay? I'm exaggerating now. But to make you understand, but instead say that with this system, you'll no longer have to worry about storing crates of water, exchanging empty for full, and all these things that you already know, okay? Point number 4, only then do you present the logic. So you present the facts, you present the data, you present your certifications, you present the guarantee, you present the made in Italy of your systems, you present your service, okay? So by following this structure, you can really close the negotiations. So first you touch the emotions and then you touch the logic. I hope this video has given you a new point of reflection for your marketing. If you do water purification, if you work in water treatment, and we'll see you in the next video. But we can only see each other in the next video if you know when it's coming out. And how do you know? Do two things. Click on the button here, subscribe to the YouTube channel, and click on the button with the bell so you receive a notification when it comes out. See you in the next video.